Hello, today we're going to be looking at The Rocketeer, The Island Number One, written by John Layman, with artwork by Jacob Edgar. So the story here is that Cliff Secord, the Rocketeer, is recruited to find Amelia Earhart. He is reluctant to get involved with this until he finds out that Betty has run off with her photographer Marco, and he just kind of wants to get away. And so he ends up getting on this boat, and guess who's on the boat with them? Betty and Marco. So it's, he ultimately is trying to win her back and ultimately solve the mystery. The interesting thing about this book is that this Rocketeer story apparently was originally a story conceived by Dave Stevens but never finished. And it really definitely fits into that period. It's 1938. The Rocketeer is just, very, steeped into that period. And the other interesting thing is so one of the mysteries they uncover, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but they go to this the area where you're not supposed to go to, and that's where Amelia Earhart has been lost. And it happens to be Skull Island, so that really opens up some interesting things. But the other interesting thing is that there are two characters that are in this book that have last year went into public domain, and so Layman is using them, and it kind of fits into like the mystery, or solving this disappearance. So Popeye is the captain of the boat, and then Tintin and Snowy come along for the ride. So that's going to be really interesting. And I think this is the first time I've seen where kind of a mainstream comic uses these public domain characters in really in a good way. I mean, we've seen, Winnie the Pooh, and there's been, those terrible films that they've made because that, Winnie the Pooh went into public domain. But, I have to really give it to Layman that he's lovingly using these and they really fit into the story. It's not just like, oh, hey, we can use these. So that one's really smart. And Edgar's artwork is really perfect. It has kind of a bit of a cartoony style. He was one of the co-artists on the Plastic Man No More mini-series that was at DC that came out last year. He did part of the artwork. And he's a really wonderful artist. I'm a really big fan of Rocketeer, so I'm always, kind of tough on it, but Layman and Edgar do a really good job here, and I think it's well worth checking out. So what did you think? Did I miss anything in the reviews? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming reviews. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.